All right, this is daily chart of SPY. Today I got a great video to talk about. I've been working a lot on my visionary line. This is a great video for new people and also my followers. I've been working on my visionary lines and interpreting a lot of the new signals that I wasn't interpreting before with a whole bunch of new rules. But this is kind of new and basically it's also exciting at the same time. And I want to present why I felt that why the market was giving negative signals on Friday, right around this day here, not just through the spiders, but from the QQQs and the diamonds. And on top of that, individual stocks not being able to break out very far, and stocks that were very strong, giving sell signals, you name it. I'm going to be talking about Yelp, um, FIO, and a lot of nice things to talk about. Let's talk about the market quickly here. So this was a signal here based on my system. And we'll just talk about this green line and what's different is that for it, in my interpretation, that it being this high, I consider that negative. And of course, I was correct about that in a large way, as you can see what happened today. But still, benefit of the doubt, if you think about what the market's been doing, here we have a high, and it did it in such a sneaky way, but here's your high, okay? 188, basically 189, and look where we are today. It practically fell 400 points, and it did so in a very sneaky way. Now, that makes the market not overbought anymore, and that's created a lot of negative signals, and we could bounce at this point here, and we would be in a very huge chop zone until this market really resolves. So the only thing I would do is wait for signals. At the same time, we could also go much lower, and we favor lower prices. But based on what I look at, I'll be able to know whether there's where there's a clear reversal, or if we're going to be heading lower. It will be very clear to me. But in this video here, we were getting signals on Friday that there was a pullback in the cards, and as you can see, we just chop. We went down this day. We try to go up a bit. We go back down, reject the line again. We try to go up. Can't break above the blue line. Try to go up today. We had to break above 188.13. We rejected it, and as you can see, the 10-minute chart, we had no power right from the get-go, right? It was just down. And, right around 10:13, before the market had made any meaningful fall, don't forget the market was around 187.860 at the time, right? Much higher than it is now. I talked about how I was looking for strength because I know we needed it. We needed to get that strength to show us some strength. If it was going to want to reverse, if this market was for sure wanted to reverse, it should have showed us strength, and it did not. And that's why, if you look on my stream, you'll see around 10:13, I mentioned that I got rid of FIO and Starbucks and SBUX and Walmart I think it was WMT. Basically, I got rid of those positions, even though I was bullish them. The action of the way these were set up to go higher, they weren't acting correctly as well, and I exited the positions very quickly. FIO was a stock I mentioned about, and let's talk about that. What I found really troublesome was that this day that the stock had lost its gains. I did not bother going in it, but then because it was able to reverse, I looked to go long and made a video on that. I mean, I made a chart on that. But I was troubled again that this stock here had no power, and this was pretty bullish reversal, according to my system. But it needed to hold above 1198. And as it got close to that, I didn't like the action. I got out earlier than that. But it's very clear that this stock here has to resolve itself. There's still support around the 1140, 1150 area. But with the market being negative, it's hard to say whether this would really want to pull back again. And it could pull back right back down to 11. It would be okay, even to 10.5. And the stock's uptrend, this bottoming uptrend, is still intact to go higher. I don't know how far they want to pull it back, and nor do we want to speculate. I just sometimes if it happens to go up higher and I can't find a good entry again, I won't bother with it. It's, c'est la vie. So you can't catch them all. Just that the risk reward at this time wasn't favorable anymore, as this thing should have hit 13 today instead of going down again. So we have two double down days. Would be bullish if it could take this out, but if it cannot, we're just heading lower. Anyways, back to let's take a look at the QQQ. I want to talk about Yelp as well. Same thing with Qs. The Qs were even more negative. And then you know what? I've always said the Qs are the leaders. Here's Thursday, and we had negative signal as we could not get above the green. And of course, on Friday, we're below. This is very negative here. Again, couldn't get above. Again, we reject. Again, we reject my lines. And again, we reject my lines all week. And boom, negative candle, so on and so forth. So there you have it that way. Just explaining that, right? Diamond, same thing. It wasn't as clear, but you know what was the leader this time? The QQQ. The QQQs have been the leader, has been the leading indicator of when the market's going to drop or rise. When the SPYs are negative, the Qs weren't as negative, and the market reversed. This was the strongest market. Was the Qs. It also gave the warning signs. The strongest warning signs were given by the Qs even faster than spiders. So there you have a great update on the work I'm working on. Oh, by the way, people want to look at Yelp. So look at Yelp, YELP. Now, Yelp was a very strong stock, but some of the negativity was in this area here, that it wasn't very good to go long this, and a lot of people were bullish. And on my system, this particular day wasn't positive. I looked at this as a short. Never posted this on my profile page, and nor am I taking credit of the drop. But the system did suggest that this has odds of favor to go lower, and that's what it did. That's something unique that's not been that's very clearly shown on my indicator lines. Just like this was very bullish this day over here, and this was a nice breakout play in Yelp. That was earnings. The reverse was over here, right on the top of the things. It was just very negative here. It was the sell signal at 97.25, pretty much near the highs. That favored that based on my lines. Then of course the stops would have been around the high of that day, right? And this has just fallen out of bed since. So there you have it. Great update. Look forward. Watch me for. I'm not going to be making a lot of. I'm doing a lot of work, but basically, the good news is that I can really. The visionary lines do a really good job of identifying major turns before it becomes very clear. And actually, it makes it very clear where a lot of other things aren't so clear. Moving averages do not show a resistance and support like these lines do, and these lines kind of show resistance and support in a unique way, because they actually work on tracking the they work on actually where the price should be, or should be, and where they are not. Thanks for listening. Like the video.